Happy New Year, everyone. Let's talk about 2024, as this is going to be an epic year.
Oh, hi, Mark.
What's up, Freccero fam? Welcome back to my channel, where I like to experience everything that life has to offer. Again, gotta say, Happy New Year's. This year, I have a lot planned, and I figured for this video, I'm gonna talk about my goals and what I'm doing for 2024. There's gonna be two main parts to this video. The first is I'm gonna talk about this month. I am doing a dry January among a lot of other challenges, which I'm going to talk about in a second. And then in addition, I have year-long goals when it comes to all the things I want to accomplish and get done for this year. Now, starting off with this month, for dry January, I have these written down. I have a bunch of challenges. I decided what I want to do every year now is start off my year with a dry January where I really focus on health and wellness. I was gonna do daily vlogs this month, but I did do a poll asking you saying, hey, would you rather daily videos or one recap at the end? Most of you said you'd rather have a recap at the end. So I decided that's what I'm gonna do because I'm doing a bunch of challenges all kind of happening at the same time for this month. So one, I'm living on only Huel Black, which is essentially powdered food. That's the only thing I'm consuming. In addition, I'm not drinking alcohol. In addition to that, now getting into the other challenges. One is I have to start my day with an 11-minute cold shower. And two, these are kind of like combined. I am going to be doing Wim Hof breathing. I've never done it before. And so my goal in general is kind of have my morning structured where I wake up, I don't check my phone right away, which I'm going to talk about in a second actually. I then get in the shower and take an 11-minute cold shower while doing Wim Hof breathing at the exact same time. Then I get out and I'm going to be reading my affirmations and look at myself in the mirror. I heard from a neuroscientist that if you want to say affirmations or do them, when you say them out loud while looking at yourself in the mirror, I guess it's more powerful. And I thought about it and I'm like, you know what? I guess that makes sense. Like if you think of like Pavlov's dog, if I'm saying like, I am powerful, for example, and I'm seeing myself in the mirror, it makes sense that maybe you associate being powerful with what you're seeing in the mirror being yourself. Then after doing my affirmations, I'm gonna take a 5 to 10 minute morning walk, making sure I get sunlight in my eyes. This is from Andrew Huberman. And so I was like, you know what? This is a good like kind of 20-ish minutes for, I'd say all this, 20, 25 minutes for all of this. And that's how I'm gonna start my day every single day for this month. In addition, I have to work out every day, whether it's me going to the gym and doing like a rock climbing workout or parkour or calisthenics or weightlifting or bodyweight training. I have to work out every day, but there's a spectrum, right? Like one of my favorite quotes, or actually my favorite quote in terms of fitness, is no matter how slow you go, you're still lapping everybody sitting on the couch. So let's say there's one day where I'm just super sore and super tired. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go for a 10 or 15 minute walk in the afternoon. So I still have to do something active in addition to the morning walk, but it doesn't have to be this crazy grueling workout every single day, but I have to do something active every day. Another one, which is gonna be, this has already been tough, because right now I'm filming this video, it is January 2nd, so I already started some of these challenges, and it's been interesting so far. Like I said, I will be doing individual videos recapping each one in terms of like, what was my experience doing an 11-minute cold shower every day? What is my experience doing the Wim Hof breathing every day? So I'll be going in depth about each one of these. This is actually already been pretty difficult, and that is not randomly checking my phone or basically using my phone to pass the time. You know, let's say you go to the bank, there's a line. What does everyone do? You pull up your phone, you scroll through Instagram, you scroll through Reddit. You use your phone as something to pass the time, right? Everybody does this. For me, I'm not gonna lie, it's a bad habit as well. I always scroll through my phone before I go to bed. Of course, we all know that's not good for you. So my rule is I can obviously use my phone for like texting, calling, posting on social media. I can still use it, but I can't take it out to pass the time if I'm bored or whatever. I'm not allowed to just randomly check my phone. I have to have a specific purpose in mind. And this has already been tough. Ironically, I didn't realize, especially now that I'm doing this challenge, I didn't realize how hard it was to not check it, where I'd be like doing something like at the gym today. I was working out at Center One, the rock climbing gym. Between my sets, pulled out my phone, instinctively just went to Instagram for some reason to like scroll through between sets. And I was like, wait, can't do that. Had to put it down. That's already proven to be a bit tricky, so I will say that. And then lastly, I did just get a standing desk, and so my rule is I have to work at that standing desk and be standing the entire time. The only exception is this, filming a video like this where I'm sitting. One last thing I will say about this month, and then I'm gonna get into my 2024 goals, is like also want to start seeing a therapist again. I was seeing a therapist. The problem was that she actually left and went to a different facility. So it was one of those things where I was like, shoot, I didn't get a new therapist. I kind of forgot about it. And then I got busy with stuff going on. So I haven't seen a therapist in, I'd say, a year. And I genuinely believe that seeing a therapist is one of the most important things you can do. I look at it like a personal trainer, but for your mind. And I think when I bring up seeing a therapist, a lot of times people immediately jump to like, oh, well, are you anxious? Are you depressed? Are you having some issues going on? And like, no, like the same reason why you can be in great shape and still hire a personal trainer, you don't have to have something super detrimental going on in order to see a therapist. It's a really good idea to check in every week or 2 weeks, however you can do it, and it is included with my insurance. So one of my goals this month actually as well is to start seeing a therapist again. I have to call my insurance company and set it all up. It's not that much work, to be honest, but I do have it written down in my notes as seeing a therapist is super important. I really want to make it a thing that every year I start out my year with a month dedicated to just health and wellness and everything. Last year, I did Jack January, where I want to see how many pounds of muscle I could put on or gain in only 1 month. Unfortunately, I did get injured, so I had to end it early, but I gained 4.6 pounds of muscle in 23 days. I'm not gonna lie, that month was horrible. This month, we'll see what happens, because I'm not eating real food, only living on Huel Black. Like, that's it. That's the only thing I'm consuming. And then in addition to that, kicking off my day with the cold shower and Wim Hof breathing and having to work out every day. It's going to be a fun month. And of course, no alcohol and everything. So that would be a good thing, I'd say, but definitely going to be a very interesting month. Now getting into my goals for 2024, I was talking to one of my friends who's very knowledgeable when it comes to the psychology of affirmations and goal setting and everything. And she says one of the best things to do is to pick 3 goals that you can really focus on for the entire year and have like sub goals under that. So my 3 main categories of goals I have are fitness, so get better at fitness. And it's kind of vague, but I'll get into the specifics. Get better at fitness, get better in terms of my career and everything I'm doing with YouTube and music. And then lastly, experiences. So I have 3 main goals or like category of goals: fitness, career, experiences. When it comes to fitness, this one's gonna be probably the hardest by far of this year. I want to do 1,000 push-ups in a single set. I've done 1,000 push-ups in a workout, but I broke it up between sets and everything. And I have seen people do this. So it is possible, but doing 1,000 push-ups in a set, meaning I cannot take breaks unless I'm holding kind of the main tabletop position, meaning I have to do reps after reps, pause. The second my elbow or my knees or basically any other part of my body touches the ground, I automatically lose. So doing 1,000 push-ups in a set, I'm working up to it. I think the most I've done so far is like 150. And like I said, I have done over 1,000 push-ups in a workout, but doing it in a single set is going to be brutal. Next is doing 25 pull-ups in a single set. I feel like that's easier. I may be wrong, but I feel like I've been getting better and better at pull-ups. My record right now, when it comes to wide pull-ups, to do in a single set is actually 15. So I'm like, okay, when it comes to pull-ups, only 10 more can still be a lot, but I feel like that's more manageable. Next one is to build more muscle. That's kind of like a general goal. It's not really like anything specific. I'm not going to go as crazy as Jack January, but I do want to put on more muscle. And then lastly, I want to get better at calisthenics and bodyweight exercises. I found the past year, I was living on the Sunset Strip, and because of my location, I didn't really have a good gym around me, so I did home workouts. And I just found, especially when working out by myself, which I typically like doing, but I found I kind of did more generalized workouts, push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, weightlifting, and I do miss doing more calisthenics type workouts. So now, like I mentioned, I actually just joined a rock climbing gym, Center One. They have a couple locations here in LA. There's one by the airport and then one in a place called Playa Vista. So I'm going there, and that's kind of good because I can do a lot of my calisthenics workouts, which, as you can imagine, rock climbers are stupidly strong. It's insane just training with them. But then obviously I'm going to get more into rock climbing as well. I've already started getting into bouldering for all my rock climbers out there. The best one I can do right now is a V2. I don't think I've done a V3 yet. But I've done a V2. I'm happy with that. I definitely got to work my way up. Maybe I'll make that a goal to try to do like a V3 or V4 this year. Next, getting to my career. One, I really want to get better at CDJs. That's like the main thing when it comes to DJing. It's like the club standard. Everybody has CDJs. And for a lot of events, you have to perform on them. You can't really bring your own controller, though you can. And I'm pretty good, I'd say. I'm very good, I'd say, at Tractor and DJing with my S4, which is a DJ controller. I can DJ on CDJs, but I can't kill it, right? I can't crush it, in my opinion, on CDJs. So one of my goals, especially actually for the next few weeks, is to go to a studio here and just spend hours just perfecting my craft when it comes to CDJs. and get more active about getting DJ gigs. I found the past, even like 5 years, I really was focused on making a ton of music. My music's gone viral. Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank has used my music. My music's been featured by presidents of countries. My music's been in different viral videos on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram Reels and whatnot. So my music has done well. And I really want to get back into really getting active DJ gigs, like maybe going back on tour, something like that. Next, I want to 5x my income. I know that's a lot easier said than done, but I have a bunch of goals and very specific things I want to do this year to really grow my income, both when it comes to YouTube and music. Next, I want to do more outreaches. This is the big thing that I noticed that I feel like always comes full circle, that when I first started making music and YouTube videos, I was contacting every big celebrity or influencer or role model I had, and it did help me build connections. And then after a while, I kind of stopped doing that. And I was like, I'm not going to contact them. They're busy. And I think this happens to me with a lot of people when you start pursuing something, that in the beginning, you almost are a bit naive. It's almost like a good thing, that kind of being a little bit naive, because you're like, oh, maybe they'll get back to me, right? And then I think as people get older, or you start pursuing a certain dream or profession, you're like, I'm not going to contact them. They probably won't get back to me. And now as things come full circle, I kind of want to get back into just maybe do something where every day I have to contact 5 people that I really admire. Like, hey, and Gary Vaynerchuk, the famous entrepreneur, talked about this, that, you might send out 100 emails and none of them get back to you. But that one person that does, that happens to see your email at the right place, the right time, could be a make or break for a huge opportunity. And so that's a big thing I want to get back into, is really contacting more people and just kind of like shooting for the stars, so to speak. Be like, you know what, I'll send this person an email or DM. I mean, like, I've talked to, I don't want to go into like super specifics just in terms of privacy reasons, but I've talked to A-list celebrities and figures, just being like, I'm just going to email them and see what happens. And they happen to get back to me. And then that's the first breadcrumb that leads me to getting invited to a big event or something. Like, you never know. And I think it's a big thing I want to get back into, is really just doing more outreach in general. And then lastly, this is a fun one. Some of these goals are very like, 1,000 push-ups in a single set, or like contacting people. This is a fun one. I want to do more Pokemon solo challenges. I've really gotten into solo challenges and Pokemon. In case you don't know, the idea is you try to beat Pokemon with only a single Pokemon. I don't really play any other generations except Gen 1, so Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. And I just posted a video for December, it was on Christmas, of me doing Pokemon Red with only an Articuno. And I want to do more of those. I've done Missing No, Magikarp, and Articuno so far. I want to do more Pokemon solo challenges. I'm also a massive fan of YouTubers like JRose11, Madrybread, Scott's Thoughts, the list goes on. I'm really into Pokemon, and I kind of want to do more gaming videos as well. And now, getting into the experiences. Saving the best for last, in my opinion. Of course, when it comes to this channel and my life, my goal is to experience as much as I can in my life. I love experiencing everything that life has to offer, hence the whole point of this channel. So there's 4 main ones I have. Some specific, some more broad. One, I really want to see the Aurora Borealis. That's been a big bucket list thing for me for a long time. So one of my goals is to potentially get a long-term Airbnb in Anchorage, Alaska for the month of September. That's kind of how I have things kind of planned right now. We'll see what happens. There is like a EDM music festival happening, Sacred Acre, I think, happening as well. It's like a few hours away, but relatively in the area of Anchorage and in Alaska. That's also happening in September. That's a good month to see the Aurora Borealis. In case you didn't know, when doing research, that I guess Fairbanks, Alaska is the best place in the United States to see the Aurora Borealis out of anywhere. So the idea is go to Anchorage, live in Anchorage for a month, but maybe at some points commute up to Fairbanks or whatever to try to see the Aurora Borealis. Next, I want to do more outdoorsy hiking stuff. I did a video like a month ago. I walked around Playa del Rey with like a stabilizer. It was a very slow moving video with me walking. I did do some bar hopping, but it was a very slow paced video. I had some people say, hey Mark, I'm not gonna lie, I thought this video was kind of boring, wasn't my thing. I had other people who said, hey Mark, I actually prefer this. This was a lot slower and more easy paced, and I prefer this as opposed to like, say, your fast paced content of you like, having one shot after another. But in general, I do want to do maybe more of those videos. And overall, I think do more outdoorsy stuff. I feel like that for the past years, especially I'd say since the pandemic, I've been inside working a lot. And granted, that is my life, being behind my computer, filming videos, making music. But I do want to do something where, as opposed to me being like, all right, I'm going to sit on this couch or be somewhere inside and film a video about some fitness supplement, I'd rather go on and be like, all right, I'm going to do a video about this one hiking spot. And I know that's a very adult thing to say. I feel like, I can't remember who said this, but I heard it somewhere that's saying, like, you know, you're getting older, whereas opposed to your friends saying, hey, do you want to get brunch tomorrow? They start saying, hey, do you want to go on a hike tomorrow? I feel like hiking's the day drinking for adults, where it's an activity that you do during the day. And whether that's true or not, I will say I do want to do just more outdoorsy stuff in general. Maybe go to the beach more. You know, I used to train in Santa Monica all the time, you know, at the Santa Monica Green doing parkour there. Haven't done that in a while, so I want to do more outdoorsy stuff. Next, I want to explore the West Coast more. This is an interesting one. I went to Laguna Beach recently because I was going to one of my friend's events. And I remember walking through Laguna Beach being like, wow, it's stunning. Laguna Beach is super beautiful. I didn't do a video on it. I should have. And I remember thinking, like, you know what? There are so many incredible spots on the West Coast that I've never really explored. Like, I've been mostly in LA. Like, yes, I've gone to San Diego. But I mean, there's so many amazing beaches, whether it's like hidden gems like Oceanside, for example, Laguna Beach. Never really bounced around Orange County or Monterey Bay or Santa Cruz. I mean, there's so many spots all around the West Coast that I've just never explored in general. And so that's a big thing I want to do is maybe, you know, I have the van where I built like that mini apartment into it. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I do van life for one weekend. I drive to Laguna Beach, spend a weekend there. Maybe I drive to Santa Cruz, spend a weekend there. You know, just kind of explore around more. And the reason why I say that is one of my goals this year is to go to Europe and backpack for a couple months. And I remember thinking, like, you know what? I got to go to Europe. I got to backpack and explore. But when I went to Laguna Beach, I almost got the same sensation, that same kind of like exploring high or like rush as if I was in England or France or Germany or whatever. And so I feel like I want to almost do a lot of traveling this year, but really realize that, hey, like just an hour or 2 hours from me is a whole other experience. You know, and I've said this before in other videos. For example, take Catalina Island, which I have been to. When I go to Catalina Island, I literally feel like I'm in a different country, right? And I feel like there's a lot of other spots around the West Coast that I've just never fully explored. And then lastly, this is probably the funnest one or most random out of this list. Learn random instruments. I did 10 years of classical piano, 7 years of saxophone, specializing in jazz, and I miss playing an instrument. Whether it's this crazy big instrument like a grand piano, or just playing something in general. Obviously, I'm always making new music, but I do miss just playing an instrument. So my goal this year, I'm gonna feel this out. It's not something that's super set in stone, but I think it'd be cool that every month I have to buy a new instrument and learn it and play it, and just kind of do a video about it. Now, I will say, the instruments I'm going to pick are going to be very random, weird, and preferably cheap, because I feel like, I mean, some saxophones are thousands of dollars. I mean, unless I'm playing saxophone professionally, definitely worth it. But if I'm just playing the instrument for a month, I mean, I might as well just pick random ones on Amazon. That's honestly what I've been doing. So my first one, which stay tuned for that. I definitely want to learn this one because I saw it on social media. I think I'm pronouncing this correctly, is the automaton. Hopefully, it looks like this. It's it's a very weird instrument. And yeah, that's gonna be my first one. I already ordered it on Amazon. I think it's gonna be here in a few days. So that's gonna be my first instrument to learn for 2024. But gotta say, you know, I have a lot planned for this year. I'm really excited. I wanna do a lot more videos as well. That's a big thing that I feel like on this channel, I know I've gone through a lot of different phases of the different types of videos I make. And now I feel like I finally have like a stride of the type of content I wanna make, which is me experiencing as much as I can and me documenting in every way, shape, or form. Whether it's me trying out a new supplement, whether it's me doing a Pokemon solo run, whether it's me going to a new place, whether it's me reading a new book. 2024 is going to be an epic year and a lot of things to experience.